In You Said a Mouthful, Ginger had second billing to future huge star Joe E. Brown for the second of two movies with Brown. Ginger continued her freelancing through the studios in this period, now doing two movies for First National Pictures. First National started in 1917 as an association of independent theater owners, the country's largest theater chain. In 1924, it started producing movies, but was taken over by Warner Brothers in 1928. Warner continued releasing movies under First National until 1936. So, in reality, this was Ginger's first two movies for Warner Brothers. I assume Ginger's relationship with boyfriend Mervyn Leroy helped Ginger in getting these roles, but she was rising in her career by her own merits, and like all the other studios, Warner wanted to lock Ginger in for a long-term contract. Brown was in the top moneymaker poll from 1932 to 1937, reaching fifth in 1936. After that, he was a character actor, probably best remembered for his role in Some Like It Hot. Ginger praises Brown as a wonderful actor and man. Brown's character inherits a young orphan played by Alan Farina Hoskins, who has a substantial role as the brains of the pair. He is best known as a member of Our Gang, where he performed in 106 episodes between 1922 and 1931, more than any other cast member, was the highest paid, and producer Hal Roach's personal favorite. Regretfully, this time, Ginger's role returns to Loyal and Faithful, with no juicy lines.
Mr. Holt, I'm so glad I found you. You are Mr. Holt, aren't you?
Why, yes.
You're just as I pictured you.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
Oh, of course you don't. I'm Alice Brandon. My father's Tom Brandon. You're going to stay at our house. Well, aren't you even going to thank Joe for saving your life?
What are you talking about? He didn't save my life. He was hanging onto that buoy when I...
How could you tell what was happening? You were knocked out.
Certainly. We saw the whole thing from the beach. After all, you got hurt saving a man's life. You're a hero, honey. Now, come on, sit up and have some more of this nice chicken broth.
Now, You Said a Mouthful movie review. The next video on this playlist shows Ginger scenes from this movie, 26 minutes long. Brown works at a bathing suit company as a mail clerk, but is also experimenting with the floating suit. His co-workers play pranks on him and mock him. Then he travels to California to receive his inheritance. When he gets there, his inheritance is worthless stocks, $5, and a young orphan boy. Broke, they spend the night on a park bench. Desperate, they take jobs as busboys on an island resort. Ginger is there at the ferry dock to look for Joe Holt, which is Brown's name. Brown tells Farina he is afraid of the water. Ginger finds him and confuses him when she says he will be a guest at her house. Farina's reaction to pretty Ginger is priceless. We understand the confusion when the other Joe Holt tries to get his ferry ticket. The small role is performed by Gwyn Big Boy Williams, who later plays a great small role with Ginger in Rafter Romance. Williams has a temper and gets himself arrested. On the ferry, Ginger shows a terrified Brown the Catalina Channel. She asks about him being a great athlete, and Brown plays along. No idea what she's talking about. Preston Foster passes by doing what they call aquaplaning. Foster was a solid character actor with 118 appearances in movies and TV between 1929 and 1968. He was multi-talented, actor, composer, songwriter, guitarist, and author, and had a few hit songs. He was even a professional wrestler. Chosen in a draw, he was the first star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Brown is met by a welcoming crowd at the dock, including Ginger's father, performed by solid character actor Walter Walker and Foster. At a reception in his honor that evening, Brown finds out they think he is a great long-distance swimmer. He says a few words, and then Foster starts to question him. Things turn serious when he hears he is to win a 21-mile swimming race next week, and Foster is his main competition. The police call Walker with the real long-distance swimmer, but he tells them the man is an imposter. Ginger has dumped Foster for Brown, and he has some nasty comments about that. Brown plans on leaving until Farina asks him how is he going to pay for the ferry ticket, and how beautiful Ginger is. Brown goes to tell Ginger the truth. Instead, she gets him to promise he will crush Foster in the race. He is flustered when she kisses him. For Ginger, he becomes determined to learn how to swim. Practice does not go that well. In the morning, Farina tries to get Brown in the water, but he resists and runs back out. The crowd shows up to do aquaplaning. Foster tricks him, and now he is out on the water. Farina prays for Brown. This goes on for a while, until Foster falls out of the boat, and Brown finally crashes. Foster goes to help Brown, and Brown almost drowns them both. Back at the house, they are all saying Brown saved Foster, and Foster is furious. Then Brown fakes a back injury to get out of the race. The day of the race comes, and Brown is milking his injury for all it's worth, being taken care of by Ginger. After he thinks he has heard the starting gun, he has a miraculous recovery. Her father and the doctor come in and tell them the race has been postponed till next week, and Brown has a sudden relapse. The day before the race, and Brown again tries to talk honestly with Ginger. She says her man has to be a great swimmer. Ginger kisses Brown, and Farina is so happy for him. Ginger more or less says if Brown wins the race, she will marry him. Brown writes his will. Walker tells Brown a bathing suit company representative wants to see him about an unsinkable bathing suit, and in comes his tormentor from his old job. The creep refuses to give it to Brown, but Farina has acted fast and has the suit, and it works. Then Ginger comes in with the new bathing suit she brought Brown and switches them out. Again, Farina prays for Brown, his best friend in the world. The day of the race, crowds cheer for Brown. Brown starts off full of confidence, with a kiss for Ginger. Brown immediately hits bottom like a rock. This very long comedic scene has all kinds of sight gags in it, like this lobster that is latched onto him. Brown did all his stunts, as they all did at this time, and was actually quite athletic. Farina is in the rowboat supporting him, and Ginger cheers him from the ferry. Brown is way behind. A fisherman who hooked a big marlin loses his pole. Brown bumps his head on a log, and Farina dives in to save him. As the pole goes by, Brown takes it for a ride and catches up. Ginger joins Farina in the rowboat and tells Brown about switching out the suit, and Brown hits bottom again. When he comes up, Ginger lies and says her suit was also unsinkable, and Brown is confident again. He is bit by a small fish, thinks it's sharks, and has another burst of speed, catching up with Foster with a mile to go. Foster blocks his way, so Brown again goes underwater and comes back up ahead. He has a slight lead with 200 yards to go, but then gets caught up in the seaweed. He breaks free, but loses his bathing suit. At the last minute, Brown pops up ahead of Foster and wins the race. Later, swimming in the pool, Ginger admits her bathing suit present was not unsinkable, and Brown hits bottom again. Farina again comes to his rescue. Please like and subscribe.